Computer models suggest earthquakes are triggered well beyond fluid injection zones. We're talking about hydraulic fracturing here. This is by Tufts University on phys.org, May 2nd, 2019 article. This map is by USGS. It highlights earthquake risk zones. The blue boxes indicate areas of high fracking and earthquakes. Now, using data from field experiments and modeling of ground faults, researchers at Tufts University discovered that the practice of subsurface fluid injection used in fracking and wastewater disposal for oil and gas exploration could cause significant, rapidly spreading earthquake activity beyond the fluid diffusion zone. Deep fluid injections, greater than 1 kilometer deep, are known to be associated with enhanced seismic activity, often thought to be limited to the areas of fluid diffusion, yet the study, published today in the journal Science, tests and strongly supports the hypothesis that fluid injections are causing potentially damaging earthquakes further afield by the slow slip of pre-existing fault fracture networks in a domino-like fashion. So there you go. I guess the best thing that could be done is that this thing is stopped, because otherwise you're going to have slow slipping of fracture networks taking place, which means earthquakes. Now, the results account for the observation that the frequency of man-made earthquakes in some regions of the country surpass natural earthquake hotspots. The study also represents a proof of concept in developing and testing more accurate models of fault behavior using actual experiments in the field. Much of our current understanding about the physics of geological faults is derived from laboratory experiments conducted at sample length scales of a meter or less. But earthquakes and fault ruptures occur over vastly larger scales. Observations of fault rupture at these larger scales are currently made remotely and provide poor estimates of the physical parameters of fault behavior that would be used to develop a model of man-made effects. More recently, the earthquake science community has put resources behind field scale injection experiments to bridge the scale gap and understand fault behavior in its natural habitat. The researchers used data from these experiments, field injections previously conducted in France and led by a team of researchers based at the University of Marseille and the University of Nice Sophia Antipolis. The experiments measured fault pressurization and displacement, slippage, and other parameters that fed into the fault slip model used in the current study. Then Tufts researchers' analysis provides the most robust inference to date that fluid-activated slippage in faults can quickly outpace the spread of fluid underground. Quote, one important constraint in developing reliable numerical models of seismic hazards is the lack of observations of fault behavior in its natural habitat, said Pathikrit Bhattacharya, a former postdoc in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering at Tufts University School of Engineering and lead author of the study. He said, these results demonstrate that, when available, such observations can provide remarkable insight into the mechanic behavior of faults and force us to rethink their hazard potential. Bhattacharya is now assistant professor at the School of Earth, Ocean and Climate Changes Sciences in the Indian Institute of Technology in India. The hazard posed by fluid-induced earthquakes, which are man-made, of course, is a matter of increasing public concern in the United States. The man-made earthquake effect is considered responsible for making Oklahoma, a very active region of oil and gas exploration, the most productive seismic region in the country, including California. It's remarkable that today we have regions of man-made earthquake activity that surpass the level of activity in natural hotspots like Southern California, said Robert C. Viesca, assistant professor of civil and environmental engineering at Tufts University's School of Engineering. He co-authored the study and Bhattacharya's postdoctorate supervisor. Quote, our results provide validation for the suspected consequences of injecting fluid deep into the subsurface and an important tool in assessing the migration and risk of induced earthquakes in future oil and gas exploration, end quote. Most earthquakes induced by fracking are too small, 3 on the Richter scale, but to be safety or damage concerned. However, the practice of deep injection of the waste products from these explorations can affect deeper and larger faults that are under stress and susceptible to fluid-induced slippage. Injection of wastewater into deep boreholes can cause earthquakes that are large enough to be felt and many cause damages. Now, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, the largest earthquake induced by fluid injection and documented in the scientific literature was a magnitude 5.8 earthquake in September 2016 in central Oklahoma. 4 other earthquakes greater than 5 magnitude have occurred in Oklahoma as a result of fluid injection. So it's amazing. 5.8 and 5.0 in Oklahoma, resulting from hydraulic fracturing, fluid injection. So these two were again from fluid injection, and earthquakes of magnitude between 4.5 and 5.0 have been induced by fluid injection also in other states, in Arkansas, Colorado, Kansas, and Texas. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.